This is the final presentation in a series on platoon drill. In the first two presentations, we learned some general information about platoons. We also learned how to form and align the platoon,
Third person back.
open and close ranks, special guide rules, and platoon movements at close and normal interval. Today, we're going to learn how to change the formation and then reform the platoon, execute changes in direction, and finally, dismiss the platoon. Now, let's talk about changing direction while in a column. The first movements we're going to discuss are column movements. Column movements are 90-degree changes in the direction of march. The base element during the turn is the squad on the flank in the direction of the turn. The pivot is the first person in that squad, excluding the guide. When marching, the preparatory command, column right, and the command of execution, march, should be on the right foot. In other words, if the command is column right, march, at the command of execution, the guide flanks in the direction of the turn and will then oblique to return to the proper position in the formation. The guide then half steps until the squad leaders come abreast of each other, then resumes forward march without command. At the same time, the third squad leader will take one more 30-inch step, pivoting on the ball of the left foot 90 degrees to the right, take a 30-inch step with the right foot, and commence half step until the second and first squad leader come abreast. At the same time, the second squad leader takes one more 30-inch step with the left foot and pivots on the left foot, taking two 30-inch steps in the right oblique. Coming opposite the new line of march, again pivoting on the ball of the left foot, executing a second right oblique, taking a 30-inch step with the right foot, and continues to take 30-inch steps until he comes abreast of the third squad leader, at which time he will take up half step until the first squad leader comes abreast. Again, at the same time, the first squad leader takes one more 30-inch step with the left foot, pivots on the ball of the left foot, taking four 30-inch steps in the right oblique, coming opposite the new line of march, pivots on the ball of the left foot, taking a 30-inch step in the right oblique, and continues to take 30-inch steps until she comes abreast of the second and third squad leaders. Once all are on line, they will step off without command, taking 30-inch steps. All other members of the platoon march straight to the front and execute all pivots on the squad leader's pivot ground. When the command column right is given at the halt, at the command of execution, the guide flanks to the right and continues to march as in column right while marching. The third squad leader will step off to the right as in marching, taking 30-inch steps with the left foot, and continues to march as in column right while marching. At the same time, the second and first squad leaders step to the right oblique as in marching and continue to march as in column right while marching. All other members step off with the left foot and continue to march, executing all pivots on the squad leader's pivot ground. The command column left march is executed in the same manner as column right, except that alignment is to the left until the movement is completed. The guide remains in position in front of the third squad. Next, let's discuss column half right and column half left. The commands are column half right or column half left. March. The movement may be executed from the halt or at quick time. We will show column half right first. The movement is executed in the same manner as column right, except the guide executes by the right flank and executes right oblique until in front of and centered on the third squad leader and steps off taking 30-inch steps. The third squad executes a 45-degree turn to the right, as in right oblique, and begins to half step. The second and first squad leaders execute the two obliques as in a column movement. Once the second and first squad leaders come abreast of the third squad leader, the third squad leader resumes taking normal 30-inch steps. All other members of the platoon march forward and execute all pivots on their squad leader's pivot points. Column half left is performed in the same manner, except that the first squad is the base and all movements are made to the left. For slight changes of direction, the command is incline to the right or left.
Incline to the right.
At that command, the guide changes direction as commanded. This is not a precise movement, and it is executed only while marching. The last of the direction changes we're going to talk about is marching toward a flank. The command is by the right or left flank.
By the left
March.
flank. March.
This command may be given from any marching formation, but it should not be given at halt. The preparatory command and command of execution are given so they end when the foot in the direction of the turn strikes the deck. Let's execute the movement to the left. On the command of execution,
By the left flank.
the guide executes the flanking movement with the platoon. The guide does not, however, change position within the platoon, unless the platoon is halted on line after executing by the left flank march. Each platoon member takes one more step, then pivots 90 degrees in the new direction of march. Another column change is from a column of threes to a single file. Remember, column change is always made from the halt. The command to form a column of files is column of files from the right, march.
Come fast from the right.
On the preparatory command, the third squad leader gives the supplementary command, forward.
Forward.
The second and third squad leaders give the supplementary command, stand fast.
Stand fast.
On the command of execution, the third squad marches forward.
March.
The other two squads stand fast. Then, in succession, on the command of the squad leaders, each of the two remaining squads execute a column half right and column half left in order to march in a single file at normal distance behind the leading squad.
Column left right, column left left, march!
Column half right. March. Column half left. March.
To reform a column of threes from a column of files, the command is column of threes to the left, march.
Column three to the left.
On the preparatory command, the third squad leader gives the supplementary command, stand fast.
Stand fast.
The second squad leader gives the supplementary command, column half left, column half right.
Column left, column left right!
The first squad leader gives the supplementary command, forward.
Forward.
On the platoon commander's command of execution, march, the third squad stands fast. The second squad executes a column half left and then a column half right. These moves will place the squad at normal interval abreast of the leading squad. The second squad then halts. The first squad marches forward until the squad leader is approximately 4 paces away from the last member of the third squad. Then the squad leader will give the supplementary command, column half left, march.
Column half left. March.
The squad leader takes one more 30-inch step forward with the right foot, pivots on the ball of the right foot, executing column half left, and gives the command, column half right.
Column half right.
The second time the right foot strikes the deck in the new direction of march, the squad leader will give the command, march,
March.
taking another 30-inch step with the left foot and pivoting on the ball of the left foot, executing column half right. The squad continues to march forward, maintaining normal interval and distance until the squad leader is abreast of the second and third squad leaders.
Squad!
The first squad then halts. The next command we will learn is eyes right. This command is used during parades and ceremonies as a salute to the reviewing officer. It is given either while marching or at the halt. When marching, the platoon commander gives the command, eyes right, 6 paces before the reviewing officer. The command of execution will be given as the right foot strikes the deck. At the command, the third squad keeps their heads and eyes to the front. The first and second squads turn their heads and eyes smartly to the right. The platoon commander turns eyes right and renders a hand salute, unless armed with a sword. The guide dips the guidon in salute. After the last member of the platoon is 6 paces past the reviewing officer, the platoon commander gives the command, ready, front.
Ready, front!
The command of execution is given as the left foot strikes the deck. At the command, the first and second squads return their heads and eyes smartly to the front, and the guide returns to carry guidon. From the halt, the command is still eyes right. At the command, all platoon members turn their heads and eyes sharply 45 degrees to the right. As the reviewing officer approaches, the guidon dips the guide. When the reviewing officer is even with the guide returns to order guidon without command. The platoon commander renders a hand salute for the entire platoon, unless armed with a sword. As the reviewing officer passes by, all members of the platoon follow her with their head and eyes until their head and eyes are directly to the front. Then they stop and remain at the position of attention. The platoon commander does the same thing and terminates her hand salute in response to the reviewing officer's salute. The final movement we will discuss is dismissing the platoon. The platoon is only dismissed from a line with platoon members at attention. The platoon petty officer normally dismisses the platoon with the command, dismissed.
Dismiss!
In this 3-part presentation, we have merged 3 squads to form a platoon. We have talked about the commands a platoon receives and the movements the platoon makes. You learned the basics of many of these movements during the presentations on individual and squad drill. Continue to practice your movements and demonstrate your pride in your unit and yourself.